Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossy. Rossy, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with a story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Alison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my
Rossy.
favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and
Rossy.
Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
And Rossy.
Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here, and welcome to episode 204 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast, where three old blokes with one main obsession, and that's music that matters. Of course, tonight it's only two old blokes, and that's my good friend right beside me, Braggy from Adelaide, and we're wishing Rossy all the best. He's still in the penal colony of Norfolk Island. We're joined tonight by Ryan and Jordan from Perth band Belgravia. So welcome to the show, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now, Braggy, before we get to the band, footy, let's talk a little bit about the footy. And I think you're lay down Mazaire now to win the Unfiltered and Undiscovered footy tipping contest. But your thoughts on the weekend?
Yeah, you guys said I didn't pick any. I only picked one out of that final series. So
yeah,
which was the Suns. Sorry, Jordan, no, Ryan, whoever goes for the Dockers.
Yeah,
mate. No, look, I'm over the AFL. I'm just concentrating on the SANFL because my team, as everybody knows that listens, the mighty Redlegs, who had to win 3 games in a row just to make the finals and finished 5th, which is like the last you could make in the finals.
Yeah,
they won their first 2, so we're one win away from the grand final. We got to play the Bays, which is Glenelg, on Sunday.
You guys got to explain to me the difference in the league.
So that's all the footy news I really like.
Are the shorts shorter in the different leagues, or is it like do they change their
see, the
legs?
AFL guys have got the better bods because the AFL guys have got the better bods because they run further.
If it makes you feel any good, mate, my actual team when I do fellow footy is the Eagles.
Oh,
It was. So.
That's even worse.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh well, that's okay.
All right, let's talk.
My actual team is Melbourne, so
yeah. Braggy, you're a bit cutting in and cutting out tonight, but that's all right. So hopefully we'll get through. So Belgravia, I'm going to hand it over to you, Braggy. Let's kick these questions off. I've been dying to hear these guys. These guys rock TikTok, can I tell you? They I just love seeing their stuff come through on the TikTok feed. So, Braggy, away you go.
Yeah. A couple of good film clips we're going to talk about later too. Usually I start off, guys, with finding out when music first became a thing for you. Like, how young were you? Was it in the family? Did your parents play? How did you first fall in love with this art form?
My mom was a hippie, so I'm a little bit older than the guy. So we grew up, we had the Beatles in the house. And then my sister, who's about 8 years older than me, was a real heavy metal person. Yeah. So we had Bon Jovi, and being from New Jersey back in the States, that's like a national treasure, right? So music was always in my life. I didn't start playing though until I wanted to piss my mom off even more. So that's when I started guitar. How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, grew up in a household. My dad is Maori, my mum's Aussie, but all different kind of music growing up. So was growing up singing, and yeah, since I was like 5, I was doing karaoke with my dad and stuff like that. So been singing since I was a little tucker and still keeping up with it, still loving it, doing it. And I think all the boys are still really like the same. It was 10-year-old, early teens when they started to get into heavier side of stuff, and it's just growing from there.
Our drummer hates the Beatles, which
So-
is the biggest thing ever, by the way. So
Yeah.
if you ever want to trash somebody,
Yeah, I can tell your drummers are definitely like. So I listened to your music today. It's like, and I saw one of your clips with the wrestling clip.
Yeah.
I feel like your songs are like a wrestle between. I feel like your songs are like a wrestle between power, like pop punk and heavy metal. It's
yeah.
like, So first of all, I want to know about the name Belgravia. I mean, is it named after the posh London suburb or the TV show or how does that name come about?
Funnily enough, it is not, but we have reference to it.
I mean, I think it's like we tell a different story every time, but it's mostly like our drummer was driving through and he spent
That's
some time and was like listening to the band Belmont, which is like a pop punk band, and he was like, "Man, I really like this name." And through Belmont over here, there is a street called Belgravia Street. He's like, "That'd be cool to call a band Belgravia." And so that's unfortunately how the story and the name came about.
Pretty straightforward.
I wish there was like some story about like a magic mushroom trip and like a cosmic thing that came down and spoke to him, but no, just wanted the name
But
of Belgravia.
there's classic bands, there's
Just the name of the street.
It's pretty simple, just straight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So going back to my first comment about how you guys, I guess every time we get a band on or even a solo artist from WA, it's not that you guys are weird, but it's always sort of different. So do you guys consciously try and do the metal and the pop and the pop punk?
Oh yeah.
Consciously try to put together, or does it just happen when you write?
There's a sub genre for those two worlds when they came together. Bands like A Day to Remember, Chunk the Captain Chunk over in America, and well, they're from France, but they made a genre called Easycore.
Oh, okay.
It's Easycore, so it's heavier riffs, but with a light vocal and then melody and upbeat pop punk tempo.
See, I got lied to when I first came out for the band. Our former guitar player was like, she's like, "Hey man, come out and play guitar with this band. It's a pop punk band." So I'm thinking it's like, because I thought it was gonna be like,
Blink-182.
Yeah. So like when we show, and like I said before, we kind of grew up. All of us listen to heavy music, and then it just sort of kind of like Jordan's got a really high range, and so we all sort of were joking around, and then it was like, oh, what would be cool is to just put this nasty ass breakdown in here for no reason, and then it sort of just kind of, we were like, we should do it more often.
It just felt really good to play, so we started adding breakdowns to every song we wrote.
Because if you listen to him sing, his voice is very unique. So
I've noticed.
So there's nothing better than like we got some folks in the crowd and they're all digging it, and then all of a sudden we just rip their fucking heads off and they're like, "What's going on?" So it's like the whole room changes, and then it's like, dun, dun, dun. It's cool.
So it's a taste for all kinds of folks.
Yeah, and then you back out of it.
It's a buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Braggy. I know you'll enjoy this reference, but the vocals and the music has got a real Ritzy Kids feel to it as well. The vocals especially.
Kind of.
Yeah, I feel it, so it's cool.
Yeah, we from the songwriting perspective, like we always just try to make sure. And Brody, who's unfortunately not here, he's a really good player. He's got a good ear for melody and stuff. It's just to showcase what Jordan can do, right? Because we keep the I don't know, the instrumental parts of it really just straightforward and fun, and the vibes, right, without overcomplicating it with all this crazy stuff. Because the idea is to just have a great time, and just let Jordan do his thing, and we just make it heavy and make it sexy, and that's it,
Damn.
Well, I guess that works because a lot of times, for me anyway, some of the big metal solos, guitar solos, just get bored, just get boring. And I guess most people really don't listen to that. They want to listen to the groove or the lyrics, yeah. So, and I noticed there's really not any solos. It's just break it down, change to a groove, change the key.
Yeah, well, that's it. Right? And the idea is obviously we got some mixed ranges, and our shows are a bit all over the place in terms of people that are coming out. But I sort of feel like in this day and age, it's and all the guys are in the same agreement, is the idea is people come out, it's music that they can relate to, and they're having a good time. And it's fun to play without, feeling like you're going to have a heart attack every time the next part comes up. So it's just a lot of fun to just keep it, fun and easy to play.
What's the live scene like in Perth? Because it's Perth's got this real track record of, whether it's even a band like the Boys came out of Perth, and the Stems came out of Perth, and they've got this real history of the Triffids came out of Perth, so they've got this real history of real
Tame Impala,
real unique Aussie indie band. So what's it like nowadays?
The scene is fluctuating, I think. In certain genres, they get quite a lot of praise, because we have talking about Freo before. Freo is kind of like its own state, or sub-state in Perth, and that's very big for the indie scene. So a lot of indie funk soul stuff.
It's not the highway to hell anymore, for sure.
Yeah, it's not so much the highway to hell. So the metal scene is taking a bit of a dive. We have a few, 3 or 4 standing metal, pop punk, death metal venues that are still holding on strong, but it's waning a little bit. Sorry, but we're keeping it alive. We're trying our best. There's a lot of people out there that are trying new, different avenues and opening new venues and stuff to try and keep it alive. So, got to take a shout out to those guys. That Mum, 11, just a few. There's the ones that are always there, like Amplifier Bar. That's a substandard place, but it's fluctuating. We're keeping it alive. We're trying our best, and I think we're doing a good job.
Well, the big push is indie bands over here, right? And so Jordan was saying, so we do a lot of our own productions, because the reality of it is pop punk and heavy music. It's just not the same as it was 10 years ago, right? So kids are not. They seem to be coming back around to wanting to listen to this kind of music. It's great to see bands like Blink-182 and Parkway and A Day to Remember and Bill Murray, when they come over, they're doing big venues. But in Perth especially, it seems to be a very fragmented scene, and the community is very sort of closed off. So me and Jordan ourselves, we try to do a lot to promote and help out bands coming up, use as little bit that we have to help everybody else out. So it just seems like there needs to be more of that, and hopefully in the next couple of years it does it,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything comes around. It goes around, I guess. So you guys look, I reckon you're 30s or late 20s.
I appreciate that.
So you tell by your film clips, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that 90s, 20s pop culture in your videos. So how did it all start? Who is Jordan, are you a founding member? How did it all begin?
I'm a founding member.
Belgravia, that is.
But yeah, Ryan technically is also a founding member. Deal to deal. But it was originally
good on you, Ryan.
Drummer, Maz the guitarist, and Brendan the guitarist on bass. Sorry. So we started off with 3. Then I joined the fold.
Yep.
And Ryan joined the fold, and that was when we started performing.
So it made 5.
The core 5. And then Maz went our separate ways. Brendan went his separate ways, and we got Mike now on bass.
Karate Mike from the video.
Karate Mike, and Brody, the Darrow with the Brady outfit. Yeah, he's on lead guitar.
It's funny as we told everybody to dress up, and that Brody actually just showed up in his normal clothes, so we were confused as to why he didn't dress up. But you know what it is.
This guy's funny. Yeah. So those are the 5 core dudes, and we're having fun. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming out and writing and stuff, and we've got some cool shows coming up. So we just keep pushing on.
Yeah, that was well said.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, man.
So we got the new song out, Undefeated, which.
Welcome back to this week's installment of the BGW, Backyard Ghetto Wrestling. I'm one of your commentators, Leslie, the Powder White.
And I'm Kevin Bobby. We got a sick as fuck show ahead of us tonight, Powder.
Hell yeah, brother. That's right. Undefeated newcomer Jordy the Lord Gordy continue his incredible 0 losses and 13 consecutive wins.
Powder, once he gets to that 15 win, he's going to have a chance at that title.
Let's see what he has, what it takes.
So we've talked about the Perth scene. It sounds like it's a growing scene again. So it's Easycore. So how many other bands are sitting there in that sort of little micro community over there at the minute?
There's not really like another really established Easycore band, is there?
I think we're just the only ones right now sort of throwing it back the way we do. But there's some bands that do soft vocals with some heavier parts.
We got Viper Chain. They're more metalcore based, I'd say. We got Reef Eater, but they're pretty pop punk mixed with like a pub rock sound.
Skate punk band.
Skate punk. That's more better. Skate punk DIY is crap. Oh god, we're gonna have a battery issue in a second.
No, we ain't.
Okay. Yeah, but to define a actual like Easycore band, that's kind of a brain rattler. We got our bros LMA, the pop punk, definitely throwing through punk pop emo, and Heaven Alone, they're metalcore. Post grunge.
So to answer the question, I think it's only us doing it right now.
Okay. So you guys have only been was it 2022 you came together roughly, and you've been pretty prolific getting some music out. So what's the motivation between, putting your shit out there to get people listening to it?
Well, we started jamming, and I'm same boat as Ryan. I thought when Brock hit me up saying he wanted to make a pop punk band, that it was going to be a pop punk band. So the first song that we jammed was called Inhale in Hell. The title gives it away. I thought it was going to be really angsty and angry, and I hate my ex-girlfriend. She's a B word. So the whole song is about how much I'd rather myself than
banana.
I'd rather end myself than see your face again and stuff like that. And then we started going further, and then the more breakdowny 2010s era of pop punk, easycore started coming to light. I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And so as I'm trying to get around to, we started writing and jamming and writing more songs, and we were like, these songs are really good, or to us.
Yeah.
Then we ought to get them out. So we went to a person who Brock and Brody used to work with in their former band, named Tristan, and he was the one who helped us get our first 4 singles out. And then
but I think it was like sort of one of those things where we sort of played the first show, and people's response to the songs were like, man, like these songs are really good. Or like we really like dug what there was a vibe to it, and people were really resonating what Jordan was saying in the music. And then we were like, shit, I guess we need to like actually record these songs because people actually want to hear them. It was a really, I guess, organic thing, because like at first it was really just us having a bit of fun, and then it was like his performance and what he was writing about, and people seemed to really be digging it. And so we were like, well, shit, maybe we need to put some money into it, and so we did. And now it's like, how many songs do we have? 8 songs now?
We have
7 songs?
Technically 9.
Yeah, so
it looks like you've got 10 there on Spotify. So just
so 10
quietly.
songs later and a bunch of money.
Cody,
and here we are.
10 songs out.
It's a cool thing, right? Because at our shows, like I said before, we kind of have this various, anywhere from 18 when they come in to 45. We have this variety of people that love pop punk or heavy music. And just like our last show, we have the in-ears thing in, and we hear the people singing the words, and it was like this really surreal moment for us, because it was like we all got real jobs, and we don't have delusions of grandeur and shit, but it's pretty cool when people are actually singing your words back. And
it would be.
For something that you just do as a fucking hobby, it's like, it was, all of us kind of had this moment where we were like, shit, man, like that's really cool. So it's like, if it stopped tomorrow, we would be like, yeah, rad,
Still had a lot of fun with it, but
sorry,
still having fun. Still having a lot of fun. So here's to many more years.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about Undefeated. I think that's where Braggy was going. That's your latest one. So walk us through, because you listen to that and it starts off pretty heavy, and then all of a sudden, really quickly, it seems to shift into that poppy sort of a bouncy feel to the music. So tell us about Undefeated.
Yeah, that one. Brody came to the studio. So we were jamming, and then Brody whipped out just the first riff that you hear, and we were like, "Oh, that is nasty." So I think to this day, it is our heaviest song that we've released to date.
Yeah.
And I think, that's what's really cool about it, is that we can have these different avenues, genres, levels of intensity where we can pick and choose and jump from, where it comes out like a horse out the gate, just, and you're like, oh crap, it's really going to go down. This is going to be heavy as hell. And then we take a step back, and I start singing some like, and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's really like, it's interesting because Brody, I wish he was here to tell the story of it, but it's like, musically, he's one of those guys who keeps everything pretty close to the chest. So like, I'm as you could probably tell, the psychopath, where I'm always throwing riffs out there and ideas, and we got 40 million things. But Brody's like a bit of an assassin when it comes to stuff. So
a cerebral assassin.
He sits on things, and then he brings a lot of stuff in pretty much fully formed to where, we just take turns jumping in on the leads and stuff. And that was just one of those ones that came together really quick. Usually it's a bit of a street fight whenever we're writing songs, because, you do have 5 people and so many different ideas and influences.
A lot of chefs in the kitchen.
We know we wanted a positivity kind of vibe, and Jordan pretty much killed that with the message of like, the people that come out supporting, really helping us along and stuff. So
and when we started the band, there was a band, I mentioned it before, Chunk the Captain Chunk. They were called In Friends We Trust, and that was just like an anthem for God knows how long. decade plus, and I always wanted to write a song that was all about just being with your friends, being unstoppable, because they're the ones that got you back. And I've always wanted to write like an anthem song like that. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's the one I'm going to do it on. So that's where I went that direction.
I'm happy you did, because it was either that or about ham sandwiches and toasties, and so like I thought the friend approach was much better than writing about.
That was my next one. That's the next.
I'm still waiting on that ham sandwich.
All right, so we can expect a song about ham sandwiches, right? Okay, all right, awesome. So is that how all your songs get formed? Just in that, it sounds like madness, the ad hoc songwriting style that you've just described.
Yeah, that's the pretty simple structure to it, is that Ryan or Brody will bring a riff that they really like, that they've been working on. Ryan brings out riffs like every second day. He's got something new.
Some good, some not.
Some are good, some are not so good.
Whatever.
And then Brody has his ones where he likes to sit on a little bit, and then he presents it in a more of a full context. But yeah, that's what we do. We get the song, we're like, oh, I really like that. Oh, not so much. That can work. We work on it, and then Brock will get a drum beat for it, get like a solid structure of it. So it's got a sound, chorus, verse, chorus, etc. And then I'll just go back and I'll just freestyle and start getting some harmonies. I always usually start with the chorus, because the chorus is the catchiest part.
Yeah.
What they call the hook. And when I get the chorus, I'll get some melodies, and then I'll start writing some lyrics that suit the melodies and fit in the thing. And once I got a theme to the chorus, then I'll start writing the verses and the bridges and everything else to build around the song.
It's a joyous process. He paces back and forth, cries, laughs hysterically. There's a lot of emotion, up and down, all over the place.
No,
just monumentous.
No.
So the riff comes first, right? So the riff comes first.
Riff comes first.
I mean, personally, I take that James Hetfield thing, right? So it's got to be about that riff, and then typically when I'm doing stuff is like it's always the chorus that always seems to come to me before the verse, because verses are a pain in the ass. Brody's really good with that, but I know it's got to have a rad riff, and it's got to have a big chorus, and then everything else usually follows suit, you know? We hope.
It looks like we've lost Braggy for the night. It looks like you've stolen his bandwidth from Perth. He has popped a question in front of me. And it's a shame, because he was so looking forward to chatting with you guys. So, but he wanted to ask about your EP, and he loves the way it runs from one song into another, and he sort of talked about it like it's a concept EP. Was that a conscious decision, or where did that idea come from?
Underlining, I'd say. You would want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it was like one of these things when it kind of came together in a funny way. So we didn't have the opening track, which is called Up By You. That was Brody when I was actually away, and during the process of it, he was like, man, we got to have something that opens this thing super gigantic and
just sets the scene.
Yeah, and it just brings it up, and then it kicks into the first song, Picture Pathetic, which is like this big anthem, right?
He wrote that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, and then we started realizing, like, you know, the common theme that Jordan always is singing about. It's always, you know, somebody doing them wrong. And then it was just a matter of, like, we had these 4 songs. Well, I guess it's 3 songs, right? Or 5 songs. I can't remember. 4?
It's 4.
5. We had these 4 songs, and then it just kind of came down to assembling it in a way that, you know, like when you were a kid and you put on a record and every song felt like it ushered into it, you know, and it had those highs and lows. And I think, like, nowadays, like with the singles and all the other bullshit and the way people reduce music, like I remember just being a kid and putting a CD on and playing that first song. And for an example, AFI did this, you know, their Black Sails in the Sunset album, and it's just like they got this big, huge chant, and it's like, through our bleeding we are, and then it kicks into this fucking like punk rock anthem. And I just remember being like floored. And so that's like how I love things. And when Brody came up with that opening part, it just sort of felt like, hell yeah, like we can arrange these songs, and it felt real rather than just like a collection of songs, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And, anything that stands out, because as you were saying, everyone just seems to be on this drip approach. Put a song on Spotify, and just keep sitting there with crossed fingers and hoping that something goes viral or that we become the next Taylor Swift or something. So it's good. It's cool to see something that's different. So next question from Braggy from the phone. One of your earlier songs, and I mean, it's hard to talk about when it's an earlier song when the band's really such a young band as it is, but The Morning After. It's got a 3 to 4 time in the middle, which he thinks is really cool.
Yeah, so that was like one of those ones that when we wrote it, we sat here, and it was sort of one of these things where we were like, how can we piss off our drummer because he was working away on stuff. And so when we came up with it, like the da, 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 it started almost as like this comical thing. And then and I hope that's the part he's talking about because I'm no musician, but I think that is. Yeah, so it just had this like frantic kind of thing to it. And then when Jordan started with the lyrics, which deal with like, he could talk about it, but
yeah,
sort of fit that, person being bullied and the suicide thing. And it was like, fuck, this is like, this works, So we just kind of leaned into it.
Yeah.
Me and this guy here were actually sitting where we are right now when we were jamming the song, when we wrote the song. And we had the first part with the main riff, and I think we were just joking around with the idea of doing the da 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 while I sang, give me one reason to, it hits on the drum beat, give me one reason to live out this evening. And didn't have the lyrics yet, but I just thought it'd be really, I think we both were like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, she was singing like mango and banana and like all this crazy stuff, I remember.
Every time I'm writing songs and stuff, I always want to try and do something different. And this is the one where I really was like, I'm going to try something really different. So the song's called The Morning After. The first half of the song is basically its own song.
Yeah.
And it's about a person dealing with mental illness where they are just screaming and scrambling for someone to listen, someone to be there for them, or else they take a step they can't take back. And then in the second verse and chorus, they take that step. And so
franticness was an important convey.
Yeah, the franticness is the person screaming out like, give me one reason to live out this evening. Please show me that everything we have was nothing, only for nothing. And then it goes into a complete
don't let go. Even when you feel like it, maybe this is where we let go. Maybe we're just getting started. Give me one reason to live out this evening. Please show me that everything we've been through wasn't for nothing. Help me see you're not empty. I'm seeking the bottom of this open bottle. I'm slowly lose consciousness, dreaming that you were beside me. Let this moment slip away.
Then it goes to a completely separate song, which it was just at the time, I think I just got really fed up with seeing, it felt like every week another school shooting was happening in America.
Yeah.
And so then I just kind of
man, bringing awareness to my country. I appreciate you, man.
Someone's got to do it. They don't do it. They don't care enough. So shots fired. Oh, literally. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Sorry. So the song is from the perspective of a kid who's fed up with it. And he's going to exact his revenge on all the bullies that did him wrong. And so the song is called The Morning After, and it's about the people that are left to pick up the pieces. They're the ones who are mourning after the fact.
It was a very clever name.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
But that's why it's there. So tell them thank you for noticing. The
So
planted
just
name-
the last question, guys. The harmonies, right? So the harmonies come across really strong, and once again, that's a little bit of a conundrum that when you're listening to your music, are you heavy? Are you punk? There's some really nice harmonies. Is that members of the band, Ryan, or is it just you being layered in? Or Jordan, sorry.
Fortunately for him, I'll let him go on that one because he's the man of the harmony thing.
Yeah, we've dabbled with other members doing harmonies and stuff, but predominantly it's me just doing different keys and different. Sorry, he's making a racket with his dog. With different cadences, different melodies, different harmonies, different kind of avenues to just give different kind of variety and spices to the sound. But majority it's myself doing that.
It's the best thing ever to sit in the outside and listen to him because it's like do a take like this and he's like ha ha ha. And they do a take like this, and then when you listen to them all come together, it's like. It sounds like an episode of Soul Train from back in the day. It's
excellent. Excellent. All right. So what's happening? What's up next for you guys? So you've got 10 songs out there now. You gave a bit of a hint that there's some new stuff coming.
Yes. We have, now that I'm back from my big holiday I just took.
He got engaged.
I got engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Back from Europe, and now at the end of, we're going to hit the ground running with October. First show down south in October 3rd with our boys Heaven Alone and LMA. The week following that, we've got Color Mind and their single launch at Linnets in October 11th. And then a few weeks after that, I can't give away too much yet, but we have a pretty big special gig coming up, which is really cool. And during that time, we're going to be focusing on the release of our next single for our upcoming release. And that'll be around the same time, I'd say November to December area we're looking at for the release.
Basically just more writing. So just more fighting, more writing.
Recording, and trying not to kill each other. We do it.
Easy.
It's just so, like,
it's a bit of fun, huh? Boys are boys times, so.
I can imagine. Guys, we're going to have to get you back around that October, November time, just to hear about your new music and so you can spill the beans on the big gig. Do you ever come across the Nullarbor, or does your day jobs keep you in Perth?
We're working on getting over east for sure. So that's going to be something hopefully in the new year. We're on.
We've started to put some feelers out, and maybe hopefully early next year we could come over there for a weekend, do a little swizz down up to Brisbane, down to Melbourne.
We're pretty lucky. So our drummer is just about to get married here in October. So this year has been sort of like we had some big supports early in the year, and we kind of been laying low, working on the new stuff, and then. The plan is to finish the year really strong and then get over east and do some, we say dropping a deuce. So if somebody's dropping a single over there and we come over there and do a single, we could drop a deuce together. And then, we're all having a good time.
Everyone's dropping.
Everyone's dropping.
Classic. All right. I'll make sure I've got your Spotify links and I've got your TikTok links in the show notes so that people can check you out. It really is, as well as some great music. You're an incredibly entertaining.
This guy, he does it all.
Your social media is outlandish. I love it. So.
We try.
And that's the key. Hey, guys, I know we've had some technical difficulties during the night. It's been awesome checking in with you, and hopefully October, November, we will get you back on the show because it'll be great to have a chat with you, hopefully smoothly if the internet plays the right thing.
Yeah.
All right. For
this-
everyone else, our next show next week, I believe we are talking to the Viking himself, Thor Phillips from northern New South Wales. He plays is it the Dobolo or something in Katie Phillips' band? So Katie Brooks' band. So we're looking forward to having a chat with Thor. As always, more artists, more stories, more reasons to listen. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered. Thanks, guys, and we will see you all again next week.
Thanks, Daddy.
Bye.
See you guys.
As I watch the world slowly fade in front of me, I always end up wondering what's the answer gonna be. Can I find an inner peace following the evergreens? Wake up, it is good. Make up and tell them you miss them. Don't wait and make misadventures. Don't change to keep them interested. No one else can do it for you, 'cause this is what we all keep on fighting for. Never letting go, searching evermore, looking for your cause, ending up with none. Here we've made our home, here we'll find ourselves.
Wrap for this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlist. Every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.